Tässä on Isä Timo Hirvonen HSS Custom Craftsista, eli Hirvosen siivouksesta ja siunauksesta, ja tänään ajattelin jakaa kanssanne hieman ideoita siitä, kuinka rakentaa kitaran mikrofonin käämityslaite vanhasta ompelukoneesta. Hi guys, ladies and gentlemen, if any, boys and girls. Hi Elliot, this is for you. I want to share some ideas how to make a pickup winder from an old sewing machine. So this is how it goes. So this is what I started with, an old Eve from 70s. It's an Italian sewing machine. Ta-da! And this is what I ended up with. Okay. So basically the whole thing started by tearing this machine apart. Taking everything away. The machine itself is pretty complicated, and there's a lot of things, axles, springs, nuts, screws and everything. There's a lot of things inside. And I took it away, just to make it empty and neat. As you can see, there's nothing inside anymore. Except the engine. The engine is there for a good reason. Since the housing of the engine is really tight, this is the place where it's supposed to be. So just leave it there. Take everything else away. That's it. And that thing that you need to build is the housing for the roller bearings. And I was using this wooden box, which was originally made for knives and forks. It's an IKEA item. I found it from flea market for $2. That would be 150 in euros. And everything else is from, almost everything else is from inside the sewing machine. The axle, these things that keep the band in its place, and a lot of screws, nuts, springs, the thing that I will use for guiding the cable and all that. But the thing so you need to have is two bearings. I was using an 8mm bearing. The measurement inside was 8 mils, outside 22, and then I had a problem since I've been using 25mm drill, because that's what I had. And I took some wood. You can use whatever you like. I was using this Brazilian cedar. I made a hole with the drill, just deep enough to keep the bearing inside. Then I took a piece of pipe. The inside measurement was that was 22 mils, which equals the outer size of the bearing. Then I was pushing this really hard, like this, and that's 25. Exactly the same size that the drill I was using. Then I made a hole for the inner circle of the bearing, just to keep it open, and that will roll freely. And then again some power, or just a little bit more. Yeah, there it goes. That's it. Now we have a perfect fitting or pocket for bearing. There's a lot of space to put the axle, and that will roll freely, and this will definitely keep the bearing inside the wood, so that won't be touching the housing or the box or whatever you are using for the build. You can use things like this, but you would have an open case in this case, so that's not so neat, and you would have to drill some holes here and I was planning to use this, but I ended up with the box for the knives and forks. Well, you know, it's pretty cool actually. So you need to have these pockets, the nests for the bearings, 2 pieces for each sides. In my case, they are inside here, and then you will just adjust the height of the axle by lifting these blocks or lowering, whatever you choose. And you will have a adjustable band by, I was using these 2 rollers. If you squeeze them together, that will the band will rise just a little bit, and there's a adjust here in the engine as well, so there's a lot of adjustability. Oh, how do you say it? I don't know. Inevitability. Agent Smith. Well, that's for the bearings. But inside here is the brain. So I'll try to focus there, and I will turn my Eve the other way around so that you will see the beauty of her. Oh dear. Wow, there it is. So the brain here inside is the laser, and I was trying to just put off some lights there. And let's have a third try. I really have some problems with this camera, but you know, I don't care. Hopefully you won't too. Anyways, there's the axle and the nuts that will keep the axle from wobbling around. So there's like a 1 mil movement available for that. And there's the thing for the laser. There's a lens inside. I tried to focus there. Hopefully you will see something at least. There it is. Oh, there's a hole. I know it's there because I put it there. Anyway, so the laser will be lying on this, and I made a plate. So as you can see, there's nothing much inside there. Really, that simple. I put a lot of bolts and nuts, and just to keep it tight there into the base plate. And then there's I tried to do this one-handed. There's a wooden plate here that will seal the box so that there will be no dust, or at least that will minimize the dust into the electronic compartment. And the laser is here mounted on top, and when you are doing this, you should really be delicate with it. It's really, you know, fragile instruments. Oh dear, just can't do it one-handed. Just hold on. There it goes, nice and easy. Go. It won't. Okay. Well, that's a tight fit though. Power. As you can see, there's a wire from the laser coming down to the switch, and this is something I had to do just to keep the laser counting all the time, since I was doing this system from equipment like this. It's an Biltema item, and it counts the RPMs or the turns of the engine or whatever you are pointing, but you need to push the laser on button all the time when you are measuring things. So I had to put 2 wires to the switch and connect it to the switch like this, so that will keep the laser on even though I'm not pushing it. So, and you need to have that, otherwise when you would raise your finger from the button, that will lose the count or the numbers that you will be winding, so that wouldn't be a nice thing. And in here you might have a better look to the lens. Inside this thing here, there's a lens. It's really hard to get focused though. No, like that. So there's some cherry wood, walnut, all that sort of wood candy. But there's also a hole, as you can see. Inside there's a lens that will maximize the laser light, and that will be pointing to the stripe that you will see here. That's a reflector. But you need to put some paint to the other part of the bobbin plate, the base plate. Otherwise that will give you a miscount number of the turns. And as the reflector passes the laser beam, that will count +1 turn. So I will show it later on. Anyways, that's about it, you know, basically. You just need to take this laser counter, digital, what it says, digital whatever meter. Just put it into pieces. Put it into pieces and then make some kind of housing for it, and put the wires to the switch and make a constant on switch or whatever you might call it. I was putting some wood candy around it just for fun. There's some African Padauk. I like that wood really much. Yeah, that's the one. And then I was using a lot of cherry, walnut, all that sort of things. And some buckwheat burl, of course, because I like it. But the thing here is that as I put on the pedal, I like to use the pedal since I only got 2 hands. Probably most of people have. You know, it's rolling. And once I put on the laser, you will see the numbers counting there, and as the reflector passes the beam, it counts +1. You know, it's really accurate, and you can drive really fast, and that goes, you know, absolutely fabulous. That's it. And if you would not have the this switch, and you would raise your finger, that would trip the counter into 0. You know, turns off the lights. Bing! Once you start once again, you need to mark the number of the turns and make some adding. I don't like maths. I don't know about you, but anyways, you just by making these 2 wirings, you will have this an easy way thing to do. You know, see how easy it goes, counts for you, so you don't have to. Okay, and the bobbin plate here, or the housing for the bobbins, is from a thick plastic. I got this for free from a local store, or actually a factory. There was some waste pieces of this plastic, not the big ones though, but still, you know, it's really hard and it works fine, and it's not conductive, so you can make a good measurement, an accurate measurement from the ohms or whatever you want to measure while doing the winding. So this plate is not touching the iron actually, so even though it looks like it. Anyways, so this is the basic thing I was doing. You can add any kind of housing for the bobbins, these plates. This is for the Music Man, 5-string bass, anything you like. But basically, doing the winder is really easy, and you only need to buy 2 rollers and an old Italian Eve of your own, and then you can build something beautiful like this by using the old parts.